Hello everyone, this is a short introduction video for the topic of addiction that will be discussed at the webinar coming up soon. My name is Dr. Dharm. I'm a naturopathic doctor here in Vancouver, BC, Canada. But the ideas I'm about to present do not represent naturopathic medicine or divine truth principles. These are my own current ideas that I'm exploring as I try to understand how suppressed emotions are the cause of our illnesses and other difficulties in our lives. So addictions refer to any mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical activities, thoughts, demands that we have in order to suppress and numb other unpleasant emotions, especially fear, or to create a temporary strong hit of another emotion that we think is pleasurable. That's the definition of addiction in this context. And addictions, they disconnect us. They disconnect us by numbing us from what's really going on for us, from our own true feelings, from our, what you want to call the unhealed parts of ourselves, as well as a true part of ourselves. It disconnects us from God, disconnects us from intuition, from our spirit guides, even from really deeply, intimately connecting to each other. And it always requires that somebody or a family or a culture or a region, a city, a country, a part of the world, and especially the planet, to give something up. Every addiction requires the sacrifice of someone or something else. It always causes damage. And you're also damaging yourself in the addiction. You also have to give something up of yourself in order to get something back. So we may think we're getting something, say for example, power addiction. You may think you're getting power, but yet what you've given up in the process is very, very disempowering. And you will have been better off feeling your powerlessness than acting on the addiction of power. Now you're worse off. So we never had a choice to not have addictions. Right from the get-go, right from our conception, pregnancy, birth, we felt very, very strong demands from our environment. Our parents, our environment had very strong addictions, very strong demand of us. And we had no choice but to engage, but to respond. And we get to the point of believing that that's what love is, that's what relationships are, that's what family is. So it's not something we could have helped as children, and now our own personality and facades are created around addictions. We believe that our life is about being successful or feeling worth or having accomplished something or a purpose or all of those feelings are addictions, or finding true love. They're all driven by addictions created very, very powerfully in our childhood. And for some of us, if we didn't meet the addictions, our very physical survival was at risk. So there's a lot of compassion for how addictions got created. Every time I look at a few of my addictions and feel like the origin story of the addiction, I end up having a lot of compassion at how much pain there was that created the need for the addiction or the need to respond to somebody's addictions. And now I have to create another addiction in order to cope with the pain, or to find whatever it is I'm looking for that can only be found through addiction. And so we will discuss how to identify your addictions and all the many tantrums that comes up around it. It's taken me 5 years to come to terms that I have a lot of addictions and it's okay. I have a lot of shame, a lot of judgment, a lot of denials at first that I even have addictions. They're not too bad. It's going to be pretty easy to get rid of. I just have to be aware. I just have to know I'm doing it. And just like that, the addiction is gone. Not. So, a lot of emotional process to work through. But in the few situation in which the addiction is gone or has lightened up, I feel so much lighter. I feel a freedom. People around me may be pissed that I'm not meeting their addictions anymore, but I feel so much better. Say, for example, places in which I felt superior. I still have that feeling of superiority, but it hurts to go for it now. And it's a relief that I can have glimpses of what feeling equal to everyone can be like. It's a beautiful feeling. And addiction is a way, an attempt to try to meet a desire that is actually pure. And that if you release the addiction and get into the pain self and then to the true self, you will find a much, much more satisfying connection to what you're really looking for. So from addiction to power to the feeling of inner authority, inner trust, a place where I can see my self-responsibility and that I already have a lot of influence, more influence than I know what to do with. But it feels self-responsible and it feels very empowering to me. It feels like there's something that no one can take away from me and nothing that I need to exert over others. So that's the glimpses I'm having on the other side of my power addiction, which is very, very encouraging for me to continue to be diligent. So that's addictions in a nutshell. And this is a topic that I could create discussions about for a year. I probably will at some point. And come with your question to the seminar, to the webinar, and be real about how difficult it feels. And it feels difficult. It feels, when you have to challenge your addiction, you feel needy, you feel you're going to die, you feel empty, lonely. It's uncomfortable. So let's talk about that on Tuesday. But the rewards of challenging addictions are 1,000 times better than the temporary pain of challenging it. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.